absolutely love bringing you along into my design process, how to create good designs, as well as I've always loved sharing a little bit more about design strategy because yes, you do need a little bit of a strategy behind creating designs for print on demand. And so in today's video, I thought it'd be fun to walk you through what I've been doing recently for creating designs for my print on demand businesses. And I also want to share my thoughts on how many listings you should have in your shop, especially if you're just starting out, or maybe you've already began and you're not quite sure how many listings you need to actually start seeing sales. This is something that I see so many different opinions on, and I of course have my own opinions. So I thought it would be fun to share my thoughts because my thoughts kind of go hand in hand with my strategy and the strategy that I recommend you follow as well with your print on demand business. Recently, I have been loving using the tool Playground for creating my designs. And to be quite honest, this is something that I feel like is very out of character for me. It's felt a little bit funky because Playground is an AI design tool. And I have been kind of a little bit of like a grumpy old lady when it comes to AI. I've not really leaned into it too much. I just am very picky when it comes to using AI in any component of my business, but I actually really like using Playground. It is by far the best tool that I have ever come across to actually create designs that I feel confident listing into my shops. And even better, I've actually made sales from the designs that I've been creating in Playground. So that I think really is the main factor that's kind of validated it for me as well. If you're not familiar with Playground, Playground is an AI-powered design tool that makes it super easy to create designs for your print-on-demand business, or you could also create digital products, social media posts. Truly, the sky is the limit, and you're able to easily create your designs from built-in pre-made templates, as well as through your own images and prompts that you input. It is fast, it's flexible, and it's very beginner-friendly, which is personally, I think, why I have enjoyed it so much, because I'm still somebody who I consider to be kind of dipping my toes into the water in the world of AI. All of this to say, this is also why I think it is a great tool for print-on-demand sellers, because to be honest with you, most of the individuals that I'm talking to, those of you who reach out or talking via Instagram and email, or students that are in my community, the biggest hangup that I'm seeing most sellers are having is not with their SEO, not with their listing images, not with their storefront. That is something that I feel like everybody's kind of got locked down. There's a lot of information about how to execute all of that and have a strategy there. But what is missing the mark is the designs that sellers are creating. And I think just naturally this is happening because most of us who do get into the world of print on demand, creating designs is not our area of expertise. I know it was not mine. I don't have a design background or anything like that. And most of you, I know, also do not have that design background, which is where using a tool like this can be incredibly helpful. I've mentioned in previous design videos, which I'm actually going to link some of my most recent design videos in the description box below if you want to do a little design binge after this video. But most of the time when I am starting to create a design, I don't like to start with a blank canvas. I like to start with some form of inspiration, whether that be a vision board of some elements that I found and want to bring into a design that I create, or starting with some form of template so that I have a foundation to build off of. If I don't start with either of the two, it leads me to just staring at a blank canvas, and that is not very productive. Taking a look inside of Playground, you can see there are tons of different categories that you can choose from for the type of template that you want to start with. You also have the ability to upload and edit any image that you want to start with. That's super fun as well. But diving into some of these already pre-sectioned out categories, we have logos, t-shirts, social media posts, posters, event signs. I love this category. Seamless patterns, memes, phone case covers, mugs, hats, and more. When it comes to these sections, I personally like to dabble into all of them, even though I primarily sell apparel in one of my shops. I don't just stay in the t-shirt section. I like looking at all of these different sections because I find inspiration. And again, it's just a starting point. I'm never using any of these as is. I'm always putting my own personal touch from them. So definitely exploring all of the different categories is something that I would recommend. You also can click directly into templates, and you are going to have some that are suggested for you based off of templates that you've worked within before, any that you've recently viewed, as well as some of the popular new templates and other categories that might be reflective of upcoming niches that are going to be selling. For example, as I'm filming this video, it's April, and one of the next largest holidays that people are going to be buying products for is for Father's Day. I personally always like to be creating designs about 8 to 12 weeks in advance before the niche that I'm looking to pursue. So that makes Father's Day something that would be fresh on my mind to be creating for today in order to be seeing sales come June. And just scrolling through, you can see all of the other sections that are being recommended to me right now. This one's super cute, vintage Western. That whole country Western cowgirl aesthetic has been something that's been very popular on Etsy for quite some time now. Which, by the way, I do have a link for you to try out Playground in the description box below. Now that we're a little bit more familiar with Playground, I want to talk to you about how I've been using it, show you how I've been using it, as well as talk a little bit about my design strategy, which let's start there with the strategy because I think that's the most important piece. Something that I feel has been a major contributor to my success and growth with both of my shops is the amount of designs that I create for each niche that I pursue. And this ties into the whole, well, how many listings do I need? How many listings are top shops having? And I am somebody who will always preach loud and proud that quality will always outweigh quantity. However, there is a little bit of importance in the quantity of designs that you do create. Let me elaborate. For any niche that I pursue, I like to create a minimum of 25 unique designs. This is never something that I treat as a sprint. I am not looking to have 25 just for the mere fact of having 25. There's no magic behind that number. But where the strategy comes to that number, the method behind the madness, if you will, is I like to collect data. I'm a very big analytical nerd. I like to have information behind what I'm doing. And I'm almost like the toddler stuck in the why phase. I want to understand why things are working, why things aren't working, so that I can pinpoint where I can make a difference, where I can make a change to actually see a result. Why that connects to having 25 unique designs, that is essentially creating a spread of listings in one chosen niche that I can start to collect information from. When I like to think of an experiment, most of the time with a really well done experiment, you have some independent and dependent variables. Basically, you have variables that stay the same and you have variables that change. In this instance, when I'm conducting these design experiments and whatnot within a niche that I'm pursuing, the variable that's changing is that design, those 25 unique designs that I'm creating. So the things that are staying the same are things like the title, the tags for the niche that I'm pursuing. So for example, let's say that I am creating something for a bachelorette niche. We'll go with, I recently have seen a couple different themes with bachelorette, but one that's been very popular is margs and matrimony. And if I was targeting the margs and matrimony bachelorette theme, I would be creating 25 unique designs that fit that specific theme. Now, where this really helps propel my shop forward is of all of those 25 unique designs, they're all their own individual listings and they have consistent variables between each of them. The title, the tags, the listing images that I'm using, the only thing that is changing is the design. And so very simply, I can look at the views, the favorites, the potential sales, and I can assume that the listings that are seeing the most traction are doing so because of the design, because that is the only variable that is different. Where this has been really powerful for me in the past, my second shop that I started last Q4 season, I had one design that started to do really well in a specific niche that I had created tons of different designs for. When I found that one design style that was working really well, the first thing that I did is reuse that design style because it clearly was resonating, it was getting traction, and then I was able to put that on additional product types, make it into new niches, and really grow rapidly because I found something that was proven to work. That is the power behind having multiple designs in the niche that you're pursuing. A big mistake that I see is individuals, they find really great keywords, their SEO is on point, they create 1, 2, maybe 3 designs for that niche, and then if they don't see any traction, they don't see any sales in that niche, they assume that it's the niche and maybe not necessarily the design. And 1 to 3 designs often isn't enough to get an accurate analysis, if you will. I hope that this is making sense. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any questions on this strategy, but this is truly the root of every single thing that I create in each of my shops. Quantity of design is important. Now, where using a tool like Playground comes into play is to make sure that the quality of those designs is there as well. Because just as I mentioned earlier, simply just creating 25 because some random girl named Taylor on YouTube told you that 25 is a good number to have and you're just trying to get to that number, that isn't the magic behind what you're doing. It's the quality of those 25 so that you can actually collect a good analysis behind what is and what isn't working. So that's where Playground comes into play. You can use design templates to create designs for the niche that you're pursuing from templates that are already really high quality and have some cohesiveness to them, have a little bit of a blueprint for you, a foundation for you, so that you're set up for success and ultimately getting sales. So to really bring this whole thought process through, this strategy of creating designs, creating multiple designs for a chosen niche, I'm going to do so using Playground. I'm going to spend just the next little bit creating designs, and we'll go ahead and continue that theme of bachelorette, the margs and matrimony. You can see here, this is a niche that already has demand for it. These are keywords from eRank, just showing the search volume to competition. These are the types of keywords that you definitely want to pursue. So with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and create a bunch of designs and show you what I come up with. And just like that, I spent the last 15 minutes coming up with these designs. I think that these turned out super cute. I think this one is my favorite. Let me know which one of all of them you like the most. But this is truly why I have been loving using this tool, because not only am I creating a quantity of designs, which we know can be beneficial, but also I feel confident in the quality of all of these designs as well. I think they turned out so cute. Now, just a quick little bonus tip. I want to make sure that the presentation of these designs is also on point. That means putting these designs on high quality mockups. Here's just an example of kind of how I would present these designs, because that honestly can be just as important as the design itself. We are selling something, we need to make it look good and make it connect with our potential customer, which I think these mockups really do that with these designs. Overall, I'm hoping this video gave you some inspiration, also gave you a little bit more of the strategy behind how many designs you should be creating. And as I mentioned earlier, if you want to try out Playground, I have a link for you in the description box below. I'm also going to link my free design mini course. It's called Design Kickstart. It walks through absolutely everything that you need to know in order to create designs to sell on Etsy, both through the strategy as well as through the legality and making sure that you're creating things that you have the rights to sell. Like I said, it's completely free, and I'll have that link down below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't done so already, be sure to boop the subscribe button down below. As always, I hope you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!